Allegheny Arts and Collective, which is the education division of the Arts Commission, where we surveyed over 2,200 schools in the LA County in all 81 districts, to collect data about the quality, quantity, and equity of arts education. But let me first talk about what the Allegheny Arts Collective is and does. So we're the Arts Education Initiative. We were established by the Board of Supervisors in 2002. And kind of one of the key things we do, especially in relation to this project I'm going to talk about today, is that we work with school districts every year. We work with them on their strategic arts plan. So this is, they work with us. We have coaches on staff. We help them, plan for the arts at their district. And they, either are creating a plan with us or revising a plan. And the goal for them is to take that plan to their board and approve a new vision or strategy for bringing more arts to their district. And that's closely in line with this project. I'll talk more about that. We also work with the Allegheny Office of Education every year to convene and work with and engage with arts coordinators. So these are district level staff that are kind of the leaders of the arts at each school district. We also have a grant program every year. This past grant program, we granted over $600,000 to 37 school districts, and these projects include projects to fund more arts instruction, fund positions, professional development instruments, anything involving the arts. And we're also going to be embarking on some work to think about, strategize, and develop some maybe tools or initiatives to help young people, especially high school students and early college students, to make sure they have the skills to enter careers in the arts and creative jobs. And then we're also in a partnership with Arts for Incarcerated Youth Coalition. I think I got that right. But that coalition works with arts organizations across the county to make sure and implement arts in juvenile camps and probation camps. And of course, I'm here to talk about data collection and research, which we definitely do. And just a little bit more about me. So my name is Agustin. I'm the Research Associate, Arts Education. I'm a math major. I get to say I'm a math major. Studied math at UC Riverside and also economics. And then I took a break for a little bit, and then I went to, during my break I decided I wanted to be an urban planner, so I did that. And I studied urban planning at UC Irvine, got my master's. And I previously, before the Arts Commission, I worked at Advancement Project California, which is a nonprofit here in LA. They work on social justice, civil rights issues. I did data and research there as well. And then I've been at the Arts Commission since 2015. I've worked with data, research, GIS, SQL throughout my professional career. So this data, all about data. So our project, the Arts Education Profile. So there were three main purposes of this project. I would say the first is that we wanted to provide meaningful data to our school districts that we are working with to do strategic planning with. Every year, even before this project, we are already helping and working with school districts to collect data. Districts let us know that when they're doing their planning, when they're strategizing for the arts in their district, they need to know where the arts are in their districts. Even if it's 40 school district or 5 school district, they want to have that data to just make sure that they know where the arts are, who's teaching, which disciplines are being offered. So we already knew that, and we knew doing this countywide collection would only support our work annually every year doing that. And then also, secondly, as a countywide agency, we want to, do our best to bring information to the public, to the county, to all our school districts. So we really wanted to do this project to, make data accessible, make arts education data more available, more transparent to everybody, parents, teachers, administrators, and advocates as well. And also, because we collected this data, and we were able to, collect countywide data and have the ability to work with partners on this project, we want to make sure that we were able to, analyze that data, do high-level analysis and report back on what's happening with arts education in 2018, 2017. So that was a big goal of this project as well. So as I mentioned, we have some, we did not do this alone. We had some great partners on this project. We worked with Harvard Company Community Research to administer our survey and also help design the survey, questionnaire, online survey, and also they worked with us to compile our data, and also we created, for those districts that we do strategic planning with, we work with them to create like these customized, really comprehensive reports to give back to them in the strategic planning process. And also, with Harvard Company, we were able to work with NRC at the University of Chicago, and they're a nationally renowned statistical research firm. So we partnered with them to really dig down in our survey data and do high-level statistical analysis on our data. And you'll be seeing our online tool that we created for this project, and we work with Statement Design based in San Francisco on this project. They're a really great design firm. They work with the Dalai Lama, and yeah, they created a great website for us. So in developing this project, I think I mentioned that we already had experience collecting data from school districts, but we knew we had to make it better. So yeah, when I came in 2015, our team was already kind of in the process of rethinking our tool and process for collecting data from districts, but we wanted to make sure before we embark on this new process, new tool, that we reviewed other tools and processes that have been done around the country. So there are some great projects already done in New York, in Chicago, looking at any tools that were happening nationally. The National Center for Education Statistics has a questionnaire about arts education. So we reviewed those questionnaires and tools, looking at the kinds of questions they were asking, and that helped us think about also considering who the respondent was going to be, how much time are they going to sit with this, trying to find a balance between getting what we want from the data and also making sure that we get a great response rate, making sure that this is meaningful for any respondent to participate in. And then also considering any data that was already available. So this specifically refers to the California Department of Education. So we already knew that they collected course level data. So that would include information about arts courses. So we knew we didn't want to overlap. We wanted to complement that data that already existed. So now this is, I would say, the juicy part for this morning, data and donuts. So I want to talk about how the data was collected. So it was an online survey, and we did several iterations of our survey. We first started with, we kind of tested out. We did a field test, and we used SurveyMonkey. So in the field test, we started with some of the districts that we were doing strategic planning with that year. This is in fall 2015-16. So it was a handful of districts that we knew we were already going to have a relationship with the district arts coordinators or the arts leads at that time. And we were able to communicate with them and really push with them that this is going to be important. And having that relationship with them at that time helped us have them make the push within their district to their principals that this is important, this data needs to be collected. So we had two surveys for this project. So the main survey is a school level survey, and that was directed towards principals. We also had a very brief district level survey, which we directed towards superintendents. 2016-17 is when we made our really big push to a countywide implement our administration. And I would say we really focused on marketing. We knew marketing and communications was going to be a big part of getting a great response rate. We started the big push. We did our big countywide survey in March of last year, but before that, we were marketing it, e-blasts. We already had the contact information of every school, through the California Department of Education, but before that, we wanted to do our own like separate e-blast kind of marketing sign-up sheet where we emailed who we already had relationships with in the district, and kind of like it's kind of like marketing to them. Please sign up. Give it let us know ahead of time if you're going to participate, and then also give us your principal's contact information, just so we had that other layer of validity with the principals and who we were going to send the survey to. So yeah, a lot of communications for this and getting a great response rate. So we collected data from 2015-16, 2016-17. We did have incentives. I'm sure if any of you have done a survey, incentives can be an important way to really get more responses. So we did gift cards for each iteration. The big kind of like survey we had, it's kind of like if you did it, there'd be a raffle for a bigger gift card. And to talk more about the scope of our survey, so as I mentioned, we administered a survey to all 2,200 schools and public schools in the county, and 74 schools and 74 school districts participated. We had over 900 schools respond. We're very happy about that. It's a 41% response rate. We went over what our target confidence interval and margin of error was, which was we had at least a 95% confidence interval, margin of error 3 for you stats nerds. And yeah, so that meant our data was the most statistically significant that we could get. So that was a big success for us. So let me talk about some of the findings from our research. So you see on the screen, this is saying 90%. We found that 90% of elementary schools, or 90% of schools with elementary grades have at least some marks, offer at least some marks to some students, and then 93% of schools with secondary grades offer some marks to some students. So this is a great finding for us, because kind of there was always, maybe there's a public notion about with funding gets cut that the arts is the first to get cut, and I believe that is true to some extent. But this is good to see that if you're a parent, especially if you're you're looking at schools, you can be confident that the majority of schools in the county offer at least some arts at that school. So that was really great for us to see from our data. And we asked, this is kind of indicating that we did not really, we didn't mess around on our question. We asked grade level questions by each discipline, and this is showing that we were able to do that, pretty successfully with our response rate as well. So this, we asked questions about, if a school offers music all year long. And then we also asked another question, do you offer, how many students do you offer, music to? Do you offer it to all students, some students? And this chart, kind of combines those indicators, and that's kind of a good example of the kind of analysis we were able to do with our data. So yeah, as you can see on this chart, we were able to find, with combining those two specific indicators, which our team believes is, indicative of great arts education. You can see it's more likely that a school will offer music all year long to all of their students in middle school grades specifically, and then next would be in visual arts. So that's an example of the kind of high-level analysis we were able to do with our data. And I think I mentioned at the beginning, we were talking about, this is a research project to address quality, quantity, and equity. So these are kind of our buckets, groupings for analyzing our data, and specifically quantity. So this is where we were asking about how much instruction was happening at the school. So that was kind of getting at what the chart I showed in the previous slide. We also asked, what kinds of teachers are teaching the arts, how many credentialed teachers, if there's any teaching artists teaching the arts, people from nonprofit organizations coming in to teach the arts. And some of our key quantity findings is that we noticed that Arts instruction, a lot of it is happening in grades 7 and 8. And, of the majority of schools that are offering some arts, most of them are likely to offer at least 2 disciplines, which is great to hear. And in terms of quality, so we asked questions, that weren't kind of about asking about the amount of instruction happening. These are getting to like details that our team and our colleagues around the field knew are indicative of like really good quality instruction. So we knew we had to ask these questions if we wanted to do analysis of quality. So for example, if we asked the school if they were integrating arts in other subject areas, if their teachers are receiving or participating in arts professional development, if they're using technology, if they're assessing the arts. So these are kind of, supporting factors that a school may take on to really give breadth to arts instruction at their school. And some of the findings we had there are that 25%, a quarter of schools will provide both integrated and discrete instruction, so they'll be integrating the arts and teaching them separately, which we believe having both is an indicator of good quality arts instruction. So that's good to see a quarter of schools are doing that. And in terms of assessments, assessments are more likely to happen at high schools. So that kind of makes us want to know what's happening at the elementary schools. Do they need more support in assessing the arts, or are they assessing the arts in ways we didn't ask about? And in terms of equity, this is, we've been embarking at the Arts Commission on cultural equity and inclusion. We have an initiative and recommendations about cultural equity and inclusion. So it was important to us to discover and analyze if schools in West LA or Santa Monica have different arts instruction than schools in Pomona or in Palmdale. If bigger districts have different arts instruction than smaller districts. If schools with more students eligible for free and reduced price meals have different arts instruction than schools that don't. So we were able to group schools by these kind of demographic categories and do some analysis based on those different demographics and comparing them. And we were able to find that those schools with larger shares of students of color are going to be offered less arts instruction and lower quality arts instruction. And this is also true of schools with larger percentages of English learners, free and reduced price meal eligible students. For us in the field, this wasn't entirely a new finding, but kind of validates that there's a lot of work to be done in terms of equity, especially. And also, we wanted to make sure, because the Arts Commission, Arts Ed Collective, we work with nonprofit arts organizations, we wanted to make sure we were collecting data that would be meaningful for them as well. So we asked schools if they're working with nonprofit arts partners for instruction or for field trips or assemblies or in any kind of relationship. So we asked these schools and districts about this. And also we had done this in the past, but in 2014 we did a survey with the arts partners, the arts organizations themselves. And our findings were both the same from each survey. So we know that at least more than half of schools in the county are working with nonprofit arts partners. So that was kind of interesting to see that our both iterations of data collection showed us almost the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to go and give you a peek at our online tool, actually. So I've got it open. So this is the Arts Ed Profile online tool. It's an interactive hub to look at arts education in LA County. So we work with Statement Design, as I mentioned on this. It's a Carto-based platform. For all of you who are familiar with GIS and applications. So it's a custom Carto platform, and our data feeds into it, and Yeah, as you can see, we have the map is interactive. The sidebar is also interactive as well with the search bar. So I'm going to pull up Claremont Unified. So you can search any district in any county to find out some key stats about arts education for whatever you're searching for. For example, at the district level, we'll let you know what your response rate is, what percent of schools are offering each discipline, what percent of, we'll ask that same question by grade level as well, how many credentialed arts teachers are there, how many community arts partners are working with, what percent of schools are offering after-school instruction as well, and then some demographic information about that district. And because we knew our audience would probably want to compare either district to district, or school to school, or district to the county, we have a feature here where you can just replicate the sidebar and compare to another district. You can compare school to school, for example, and you'll get be able to see any distinctions between any comparisons you're making here. So close that. And then we have this feature, this discipline button here. So this list of checkboxes will allow you to just pull up, for example, if you want to know all the schools in the county that are offering dance. So we've got that right there. All those schools we know are offering dance based on our data. If you hit dance and visual arts, it'll show you schools that are offering both. And yeah, same thing. You can check all of them off to see who's offering all 5 disciplines. And then other feature that we really like for our audience is, you can definitely print a handout out. It'll print out a nice little 2-pager for you to prepare to take to board meetings, for administrators to take to their principals. We really wanted to make sure that people were able to really take this data with them and be accessible to take to meetings and just to have a good summary of arts education at your district or your school. So we really like that. Depending on your browser, you can export to PDF as well. And our data is, we have a raw data set right here you can download straight from our site. It has all our data that we've collected that feeds into this online tool. So we have raw data available for download for arts education. And I think that's it for the tool. And I think that's it for my presentation. Thank you.